Walls, castles built on paper planes. Mining for the truth, not digging in the dirt. Ledger's my religion, proof of work, my church. Digital Moses splitting seas of debt. Keys in my wallet, my escape from the net. Numbers don't lie, but the system does. Inflation's a virus, I'm immune to the fuzz. Bitcoin maxi, I'm stacking that sats. Haul the bag, no looking back. Decentralized dreams, yeah, I'm all in. Future is coded, the past is sin. I don't trust suits, they pocket the loot. Dollars just a scam in a polyester suit. Central banks printing, playing God with the mint. I'm a rebel with a ledger and my faith won't stint. White paper scripture, Satoshi's creed. Decentralized gospel, the only thing I need. Cold wallet grip, my hands never weak. The market's a jungle, but I'm king of the peak. Laser eyes gleaming, staring down the crash. Market dips, I'm buying the smash. They call it a bubble, I call it a fight against the chains of a centralized night. Yeah, fingers frozen, call it ice on my grip. Wallet getting heavy, yeah, it's making me trip. Charts doing backflips, but I'm steady, don't slip. Never fold, got a diamond script, no eclipse. Wolves in the market, they circle and pray. I'm a bull on parade, charging every payday. Paper hands crumble, they just fade away. I'm stacking sats, building castles where I stay. Diamond hands, I ain't letting it go. Stacking up, yeah, I'm watching it grow. Riding waves, yeah, I'm surfing the flow. Up and down, but my faith never low. Diamond hands, yeah, they gleam and they shine. Through the storm, I just hold the line. Day and night, yeah, I'm always aligned. Crypto king, yeah, the throne is mine. They panic sell, but I'm calm in the chaos. Holding through the dip, sipping coffee in my loft. Charts got them dizzy like a carnival ride, but I'm planted in my seat, roller coaster with pride. Mining blocks like I'm digging for gold. Future-proof vision, yeah, the story unfolds. Haters throwing shade, but my fire stays bold. Generational wealth, let the tale be told. Yeah. They panic sell, but I'm calm in the chaos. Holding through the dip, sipping coffee in my loft. Charts got them dizzy like a carnival ride, but I'm planted in my seat, roller coaster with pride. Mining blocks like I'm digging for gold. Future-proof vision, yeah, the story unfolds. Haters throwing shade, but my fire stays bold. Generational wealth, let the tale be told. Yeah. They They panic sell, but I'm calm in the chaos, holding through the dips, sipping coffee in my loft. Charts got them dizzy like a carnival ride, but I'm planted in my seat, roller coaster with pride. Mining blocks like I'm digging for gold, future-proof vision, yeah, the story unfolds. Haters throwing shade, but my fire stays bold. Generational wealth, let the tale be told. Yeah. 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 Let the tale be told.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, you grow hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning. Let's see. There we go. I don't know what's been going on, but every single time I try to start the show, it mutes my mic for some reason. So there we go. Got that all fixed for you. Thank you for showing up this morning. I appreciate every single one of you. Welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. Today, I've got a few headlines. One of them is going to be about a trade deal with South Korea. We've also got another little headline talking about some layoffs that are continuing to hit the tech sector. But you know what I got pulled up first. We got that stock heat map pulled up to get you prepped for some success today. So let's get over to that. As you can see, we're seeing a little bit of a mixed bag from Friday, and this Monday is starting off in the red. We've got Apple down 0.59% this from its close and looking down 0.92% this morning. We've got Nvidia opening in the green, but doing so off of a $4 billion evaluation that just hit their company. So they're looking a little bit underbought. We've got Nvidia up 0.5 from its close, up 0.61 this morning. Got Berkshire Hathaway sitting down 0.5% and looking to the downside this morning, 0.3%. Amazon sitting up off of its close Friday, 1.24%, but looking to the downside this morning, down 0.37. We've got Eli Lilly up 0.3 off of its close. Looking to the downside this morning, though, down 0.11. We've got ExxonMobil looking to the downside this morning as well, off of a very green close, up 0.44% from Friday, down 0.1% so far. We've got Tesla looking towards the upside this morning, off of a green close Friday, 1.17 off of its close, up 1.04% this morning. We've got P&G looking to the downside after a very red close, down 0.91 off of its close, down 0.54 this morning. We've got Microsoft up 0.37, looking to the downside this morning though, down 0.42. We've got Google sitting up from its close, 1.46 And looking to the downside this morning, 0.49%. To wrap that on out, we've got Meta off of a red close Friday, looking down 1.34% and continuing to see sell-off, down 0.15. Let's hop over to the crypto side of things, because looking very different over there. You can see a lot of green on this daily. We do have Leo token sitting over here, looking quite stable. Not too unexpected. We talk about it over and over, but we do have Bitcoin looking a little red here on this hourly, up 3.5%, down 0.4% on the hourly. Ethereum looking up 3.7%. XRP up a whopping 7.2% on that daily. BNB up 2.3%. Solana up 3.5%. We've got Doge up 5.8%. Tron sitting up 0.6%. We've got Cardano up 3.7%. Hyperliquid up 1.4%. Stellar Lumens up a whopping 9%. Taking some spots in that market cap as well this past weekend. Not taking anything going into this morning though. We will kind of have to see if it can maintain this number 12 spot. We've got Sui up 15%. Chainlink up 5.5%. HBAR taking a spot from Bitcoin Cash in that market cap, up 9.7%. We've got Bitcoin Cash up 2.9%. Avalanche also up 2.9%. We've got Leo token sitting down 0.1%. We've got Shiba Inu up 5.5%, maintaining its spot in that top 20. And we've got Toncoin up 1.2%. We'll keep our eyes on this going forward, see if we get a little bit of some shakeout with some of these explosive moves we've been seeing in the alt market. Hopping over to those fear and greeds, we're still greedy here on the stock side of things. We did get that dip into extreme greed last week, sitting at 75 to start the week. On the crypto side of things, we're down just a point below that, sitting at 74 this morning. We'll kind of have to see if we make that dip into extreme greed, maybe push a little sell off our way. We do have that liquidation heat map with a lot of liquidity directly underneath us. Let's get over to that 24-hour. You can see there's a broad range directly to the bottom side. Has no one made a snake eyes joke yet? What was that? About me giving my mic some dirty looks there. BC giving the mic the dad eye. Yep. It keeps frustrating me. I don't know what's been going on with it. We've got quite a bit of liquidity sitting around that $118,000 mark. A mark I have charted over on that Bitcoin chart. We'll kind of have to see if we can hold an area above that as some key support first. If not, I am looking at a bit of a liquidity grab to the downside. That's at 117,400, ranging all the way up to about $118,000. Let's get this zoomed on out. Take a look at that 3-day. 3 days liquidity is looking just a little bit lower than that. We have that coming in at about 116,500 there. So a little bit of a range to the bottom side to kind of keep your eye on if we're unable to maintain one of those key levels we talked about last week when we were getting those moves towards the upside. Take a look at that 1 week here. We do have that range all the way back down there at $108,000. We'll kind of have to see if we go grab some of that liquidity over the long term. But for now, we will kind of focus on our key levels in our current range. We do have the 1 month looking quite similar with everything kind of swept. But we do have that nice little hot spot down there at about that $116,000 mark. That's the closest liquidity on this 1 month. Let's hop over to that economic calendar, see what we're looking at for this week, because we've got quite a bit of data coming out. Nothing really too heavy today. We'll kind of scroll it on down a little bit further. We do get some heavy data coming out of mainland China. That will be their GDP growth rate quarter over quarter, year over year, industrial production year over year, and retail sales year over year. Something to keep your eye on if you're one of those late night traders. This will kind of shake the markets up just a little bit. They also get that housing price index was negative 3.5% last time. Kind of looking similar for this time on that forecast. We did get a big housing market shakeup in mainland China. They've been continuing to struggle with that. Scrolling on down, get into the heavy data for the US this week. At 8:30 tomorrow, we'll be getting core inflation rate month over month, year over year, CPI, inflation rate month over month, and inflation rate year over year. And scrolling on down a little bit further, that New York State Manufacturing Index looking like a bit of a increase on that New York State Manufacturing Index from negative 16 to negative 8 this time. So looking like we've got a bit of a mixed bag of data tomorrow. We'll kind of have to touch on that one tomorrow before we really get into all of tomorrow's price action. But I just wanted to let you know that a lot of today's moves will be in preparation for tomorrow's data drop. We also have several Fed chairs speaking tomorrow. Fed Bowman, Fed Barr, Fed Collins. Scrolled on down a little bit further, Fed Logan speaking as well. So a lot of data coming out of the markets tomorrow. We'll try to do our best to be prepared for that. Let's hop over to that Bitcoin chart. Say good morning to the chat. We've got several people in here. Jesse Gluck, first as always, saying good morning, BC. Good morning to you, Jesse. We got Dylan VA in here saying hi to everyone, saying he hopes you all have a good day. Crypto Billion here saying good morning to you, sir. Let's scroll it on down. We got Jay Violet in the chat. Good morning. We've got K Diggity in here as well saying good morning, crypto family. Good morning to you, K Diggity. Let's scroll it on down and see who else. We got Gandhi G in here. Good morning to you. I saw you in the chats yesterday with Crypto Coin Mindset. I guess you know some of the books that I read, because you brought up Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I definitely have read that along with some other books as well. Jesse saying, is it me or am I hearing an echo? You might have been hearing an echo in the beginning. I forgot to mute the PC audio, so there was that for you. Let's see, Drunk on Crypto in here. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's see, show ETH. We can definitely take a look at some ETH. I will get that one on the chart. Let's see, we got anything else there? I love ETH. Actually, I am a developer on ETH, says Drunk on Crypto. We got D Lun in here. Good to be here. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day. Let's see. Jesse thinks ETH is going to zero, Drunk. I've been fighting you guys the whole time, but he's been pretty mean to me. Well, some of us like ETH, some of us don't like ETH. But I do think ETH continues to hold that number 2 spot because it's got so much built on ETH. That's neither me liking or disliking ETH. That's just me stating a fact on ETH's market cap there. We got Crypto Pendu in here. Jesse sometimes needs 3 or more. Are you talking about, with 2 accounts in the chat? Yep, he might need a few more accounts. Going to zero, Drunk. Well, you know, maybe over the long term it does, but ETH going to hold that number 2 market spot for quite a while. It's got way too much built on it for now. So let's take a look at this Bitcoin chart, because that daily still looking quite nice with that MACD sitting over our indicator line. but your prime oscillator starting to get a bit toppy here as we've broken that $120,000 mark that we were talking about last week. That was that platinum pocket on our extensions that we wanted to see us get above and then turn into some support. As you can kind of see here on the daily, we are starting to get that selling wick right now. You will kind of see on that shorter term time frame, we're heading back down towards that platinum pocket. We do have this daily with some overbought signals that have flashed, but no reversal signal just yet. We've got nice, decent green money flow here and volume starting to pick up as well. So we'll kind of have to keep our eye on about that 1 to 4 hour range, see what our money flow and volume stays like there to see if we can get that bleed over into the daily and kind of continue see some sideways momentum on top of this $120,000 mark, so we can try to get up to our next target, which is that 132 about 500 point. So that's that other area we had talked about last week. But first, we want to see this $120,000 mark hold. Let's take a look at this 4 hour, see what we're looking at there. You see these very equal candle body tops here on the 4 hour. And you can kind of see that move back down towards the platinum pocket. But taking a look at this money flow, everything's looking quite nice after we got that nice little bit of sideways momentum here on that prime oscillator. Started to make our way back up on that prime oscillator, but we're getting some curvature all over again. MACD also getting that curvature here as well. We'll kind of have to see if we can maintain the top side of that indicator line with some nice green money flow and positive volume as well. I'll be watching this money flow on that 1 hour to 4 hour as we get into market open. Let's take a look at that 1 hour, see what we're looking at there. You're starting to see a few red candles coming in here. You've got your MACD line here, your prime oscillator getting a little bit of some cool off as your money flow here on the 1 hour is struggling just a little bit. We do see that volume holding quite steadily here, so we'll kind of have to keep our eye on that money flow this morning. I will continue to hound on that because that was that point we were hounding on last week when we were sitting in that $108,000 to $112,000 range. We said as we came down here to watch that money flow on the short-term time frame, and if it came in with some nice volume, to watch for those higher levels at that 115 that we blasted through quite heavily, made that fair value gap at. I will keep an eye on that fair value gap, because if we don't hold that 120 and we are unable to maintain that $118,000 mark, we've got this nice fair value gap to really come back down to. There was some liquidity residing directly above that from the lows of this range. That's $116,000 that we saw on that 3-day liquidation heat map. We'll kind of have to see, because if we come down there, I would expect to try to retest this golden pocket, the top side, as some support. Let's take a look at that 15-minute there, see what we're looking at for the morning. As you can kind of see here, let's get this zoomed in a little bit better. There we go. We're getting a little bit of some rollover, breaking through the lows right now. So we'll kind of have to see if we can maintain this at 121. If we don't get that bounce there, look back towards this platinum pocket at 120-100 and see if we get a little bit of bouncing action there. If we were unable to maintain that, look a little bit lower. Take a look at that 118 where we saw all of the highs rejecting off of here before we got that nice strong bounce above the platinum pocket. Let's see, we got any alt requests in the chat besides Ethereum? Because I can take a look at a few of those. I'll kind of have to see if my Blowfin deposit went through. I don't know what's been going on with Base, but Base transactions have not been going very quickly. So take a look at that real quick, see if that went through. Oh, yep, it went through. So, I guess we can do some live trading together. Let me get that moved over. Nope. There we go. USDT. On spot. Oh, come on now. There we go. USDC. There we go. We can sell that USDC and then move it over to, no, what do you mean there? All of it. Sell 100% of it. I guess, oh, we gotta move that over from our funding first to the spot bag and then move that over. All right, transfer to spot. There we go. Transfer all of it and then go to spot. We will sell our USDC. Sell 100% of it. And then get that moved over to our trading account. And let's take a look at an asset together. So if anyone has an asset that they think we should trade this morning in that top 20, go ahead and let me know. We'll get this moved on over to our futures account, and then we'll kind of take a look at an asset together. Let's see. From spot, get this moved over to our trading account, and then we can take a trade together. If we just want to trade some Bitcoin, we can definitely do that one. If there's anything else Jesse says XLM. So let's take a look at XLM or HBAR, he says. Things that have already ripped massively towards the upside. Are you looking at shorting, Jesse? Let's see. Let's take a look at HBAR. See what we're looking at there. I know it's on my list here. There we go. HBAR getting that nice move back above our golden pocket there. Let's take a look at it on the 4 hour. Looking a little bit toppy there, but nice strong green volume. Some decent money flow as well. We'll kind of see this nice support area at 22 cents. Let's see, BC, would you like to look into my new project when you're offline? I would love for you to be involved. Well, I can definitely take a look at it offline. Go ahead and drop that in the chat for me. We can see what we're looking at on it. We've got that 1 hour on HBAR also looking a bit toppy with a bearish divergence stacked up as well. We'll kind of have to see if we hold that 22 cent range. See if this highs from over here at 20 cents would hold. That might be a nice little area for a limit. Let's see. Let's take a look at XLM. See what we're looking at. XLM. We've got it down here. XLM looking extremely toppy there. Getting that rejection off of the 236. See if we come back down to about that 50% line on our fib retracements. Let's get this pulled up to the 4 hour. Toppy there. We do have some divergences that are stacked up, but they're bullish divergences as we're making lower highs here, but continuing to make some higher. Don't know if that continues towards the upside though. We got this bearish divergence on the hourly. Would kind of have to see if we break the lows, the high here at about 44 cents. That'd kind of be that point I would want to enter at if we break towards the bottom of it. Let's see what the 15-minute in the morning are bringing our way there. looking like you might see that little, yep, a little bit of some pump action at about that 44-45 cent point. So if we break to the bottom side of that, we can definitely see some lower price action. I guess we'll go with some XLM. We want to do a little bit of shorting on that one because we can definitely do that there. We'll see XLM. Let's get that one pulled up. Oh, come on now. I hate how it kind of goes away if you move your mouse just a little bit. All right. XLM on futures. So, do we want to do a limit entry or do we just want to enter here and kind of ride it on out? Because we can do either one of those. I might do, let's see, 5x there. We're going to try to shoot this one into tomorrow. So, let's get about $25 on that. If it would get there, we'll go 26.70 because that's as close as it's going to get. And then I guess we can set that limit coming in at just below 45 cents. That'd be that area to kind of watch for. We're seeing 44.6 on there. So let's get that price copied and we'll set that entry at that point. We've got that and we'll sell short. So we've got that limit. Oh, I guess it just went in. So looking like it's getting a little bit of some bounce action for now. Let's set a stop loss a little bit higher, probably above the highs there. Looking like above the highs of this range, right about here. We got about 50 cents coming in. We'll see. We'll get that stop loss set for you. A little bit lower than that. Coming in there. We'll get from the highs there. All right, we've got that one set. We'll kind of get back to that tomorrow and we'll make a decision from there. So we did have a few news articles to go over this morning. So to open U.S. farm access to trade envoy in principle deal by August. So South Korea looking to make a little bit of a trade deal with the United States. South Korea's top trade envoy said Monday that reaching an in-principle trade agreement with the United States by the August 1st deadline is possible and indicated that Seoul might be willing to offer increased access to agricultural markets, according to local media reports. The minister from Trade, Hyo Han-ko, nailed it, who held high-level talks with U.S. officials last week, said South Korea was seeking to avoid unfair U.S. trade tariffs on sectors key to its industrial prowess, media said. I believe it is possible to reach an agreement in principle with the U.S. tariff trade negotiations and then take some time to negotiate further, the news agency quoted Hyun as telling local media reporters. We'll kind of keep our eye on this one. What was his name? Yeah, I'm not even gonna try that one again because it was nailed the first time, you know. But we are seeing several countries kind of step up to make trade negotiations with the United States after they've set that August 1st deadline. I know the EU has been trying to make a deal as well. They've also got something set up if they cannot make a deal to see some reciprocal tariffs being put on the United States. We did have Aura Mobile stock jumps as CO evaluates Solana for a cryptocurrency treasury. This is just the second company now that is looking to make a cryptocurrency treasury. This one looking like it's gonna be for Solana. We've seen several Bitcoin treasuries made, we've seen an Ethereum treasury made, and now this is a second Sol treasury that we've looked at. We did see that one from, I think it was Bitco last week, and now Aura Mobile is evaluating the integration of Solana as a cornerstone of its forward-looking cryptocurrency treasury strategy, which was approved by the board in June of 2025, sending shares up in Monday's pre-market trade. Solana's speed and low cost solve critical pain points for our app developers and exchange clients. This prospective investment aligns with our vision to become the connective tissue between mobile ecosystems and blockchain innovation. CEO Wundong Luo said Aurora Mobile rose as much as 37% in pre-market trade. We'll keep our eye on this one as well as we see more and more companies dipping its toes into the crypto ecosystem. That one's kind of twofold. Sol could also help them quite a bit in using their technology to progress further. And I do think Sol has some use cases for that. Although I'm not a big fan of Solana, it does have some decent use cases besides making shitcoins. So we'll just leave that one there. Intel axes thousands of technicians and engineers in sweeping U.S. layoffs, cutting 4,000 positions in the U.S. Almost 2,400 of those were in Oregon. Intel this month officially began to cut down its workforce in the US and other countries, thus revealing actual numbers of positions to be cut. The Oregonian reports that the company will cut as many as 2,392 positions in Oregon and around 4,000 positions across its American operations, including Arizona, California, and Texas. To put the 2,392 number into context, Intel is the largest employer in Oregon with around 20,000 workers there. 2,392 is about 12% of the workforce, which is a lower end of layoffs expectations, yet 2,400 is still a lot of people. The Oregon reduction rose sharply from an initial count of around 500 to be revised to the figure of 2,300, making it one of the largest layoffs in the state's history. Intel began reducing staff earlier in the week, but confirming the larger number by Friday evening through a filing with the Oregon state authorities. We'll kind of have to keep our eye on that tech sector jobs because this is the third company now to start laying off employees. We saw Amazon doing that, Microsoft doing that as well, and now Intel is that third company to start laying off employees. We'll keep our eye on that tech sector jobs quite heavily because, they're a little more likely to be able to lay people off and have AI start taking some of those jobs. Let's take a look at some Ethereum that was requested. So ETH making those nice strong moves back to $3,000. We talked about this move last week, wanting to see us get above that 2,920 and turn that into some support. Let's take a look at this daily. Daily still have a little bit of room to run here. Let's see what we got in the chat. I don't know. I always have an image of K Diggity sitting at the kitchen table wearing his Richards 112 and sipping some coffee watching us. The Muppet Master each morning. Oh my goodness, Billy. Let's see. I was a Cardano maxi, left and joined other blockchains. Solana is the real deal. Sweet. Also, don't knock them. I've been in this space since 2013. See, I'm still just a Bitcoin maxi and will forever be a Bitcoin maxi. I know that other blockchains have use cases, but for me, Bitcoin is number one. I've been buying it since 2011, and it's made me quite a bit of money. So not that other blockchains don't have their use cases. I just don't necessarily think that we're exactly there on a lot of these altcoins use cases. Although I do think eventually, once we see the technology side of things starting to get to that point, we're just starting to get to Wi-Fi 7, and devices don't even really handle Wi-Fi 7. Although once you kind of get to that next little point of communication speeds, those blockchains will really, really have some use cases, because Wi-Fi 6 moves at over about 10 gigabytes of data. And once you start stepping further than that, blockchains will really, really shine when it comes to communication, especially with things like Solana and Cardano being able to scale out extremely hard. Cardano was, I think it hit like 1 million TPS in some tests that they done. So seeing Cardano shine on something like that would be quite amazing to see. Solana also kind of that same area where I think they can handle something like 600,000 theoretically, which they haven't even done any scaling solutions. So watching that kind of shine once technology gets to that point where we can use information traveling that fast would be quite fascinating. But we need our tech to kind of get to that point. We've got our speeds to that point, but nobody's using 10 gigabytes unless you're in like New York or Cal. I do think a few more cycles might get us there. So let's take a look at some Ethereum. You can kind of see this at daily. Also getting a little bit of a selling wick. You've got your money flow still in the green here. Volume just starting to pick back up. Some overbought signals have flashed, and that prime oscillator is looking back down. But this MACD is still on its way up, holding quite nicely above our indicator line. We'll kind of have to see what those levels to hold are as we scroll it on down. We do have this 4 hour trying to maintain that $3,040 mark with that nice buying wick below that level. We saw that here as well, trying extremely hard to hold this $3,040 as we're starting to get that sideways action on our MACD. We are sitting directly below that indicator line. That prime oscillator also heading back towards the upside. We did get this little bit of a peak seeker here, but money flow still looking quite amazing here on the 4 hour. We'll kind of have to see if we can maintain that $3,040 mark. Let's get this horizontal drawn directly below that. That'll be that next area to kind of watch for directly towards the bottom side. $3,006 if we are unable to maintain that $3,040 price point. And if not, and we drop a little bit harder to the downside, we do have 2,920 being that bottom side target to kind of watch for. Let's take a look at this 1 hour. See what we're looking at there. You can see quite nicely here on this 1 hour. We've got all of these candles trying extremely hard to maintain that $3,040 price point. All these nice strong buying wicks on the bottom side as price action is really bumping up against that $3,050 mark over and over again. So some resistance directly towards the top side of us right now. You can see this very strong selling wick on the top side of that nice green candle. So we're bumping up against a little bit of some resistance and some selling pressure. MACD trying to cool off here, getting some sideways momentum. Prime oscillator on its way down, but money flow looking extremely green and volume maintaining quite nicely. So we'll kind of have to see how this battle plays out for the morning. Let's get this zoomed on in. Take a look at that 15-minute. Looking like it's also trying to maintain that quite nicely. We are seeing a little bit of some weakness towards the bottom side, so we'll kind of have to see if this comes in as a lower low here. If it does look a little bit lower, see if we can maintain that 3,600. Yeah, coming in from those highs back there. See if we can get those very equal candles swept, and then make our way back up. If not, would look a little bit lower where we had that very strong resistance back before at 2,920 to see if we can find some support there. 15-minute in the morning does have several bearish divergences here. We've got our secondary reversal signal that has flashed. You've got your MACD below our indicator line getting a little bit of sideways momentum, but we will kind of have to see if we can get that sideways momentum with a little bit of some money flow coming back in, because that money flow is very close to breaking into some selling money flow here. Let's see, I don't have morning coffee, just an apple and a spliff, says Drunk on Crypto. I've had 3 of these, so we're extremely caffeinated this morning. Let's see, if you savor your morning coffee, the steam from the cup actually helps to hold the shape of your Richards 112 brim, says K Diggity. Oh my goodness, y'all having a lot of fun in there. Let's see, BC, what, you don't even have an ETH wallet? No, I don't have an Ethereum wallet. The only thing I hold right now is Bitcoin and a few stocks as well. I've been focused on loading up my retirement account and then seeing what some of these alt projects do. If we do maintain some of those key levels, then I will dump some money in there and then roll it on up. We will buy back into Ethereum once we kind of hit the lows. I rode Ethereum up from about, what was it? Let's get this zoomed on out. Take a look at this 1 week here when the cycle had started. We were buying Ethereum down here at the lows. I guess that would have been about that 1,300 price point. So we bought some down here, 800. We bought down here at that 1,200 to 1,300 price point, and then we sold out kind of around this $3,000 point. And then I just never really focused on buying Ethereum again. But that doesn't mean that Ethereum won't make it all the way back up there. I had this initial target back up here at about that 4,500 to that $5,000 point, where would have been my sell-off targets. But when we made these very equal highs here and then dropped the bottom out, I never really bought back in. Totally could have, but instead I just focused on stacking some Bitcoin and then buying some stocks, which I had talked about at the beginning of this year, and then loading up my retirement account. I do think the alts have some time to still kind of run, but Ethereum, not my favorite project. I'm not a big fan of their team. I'm not a big fan of some of what they can do on the back end of things. So, I do think it maintains that number 2 spot. I do think it gets some nice price action, but I put my money in crypto the same way that I put my money in the local economy. And if I don't have faith in something in my local economy, I don't spend my dollars with it. I don't spend very many dollars at Walmart, so I go and buy at the mom and pop shop. And I'm kind of not going to spend my money at the number 2 with that big company kind of running them. I did like ADA. We see Ada Ace in the chat saying 715 EST. That's when he's going live. Let me get that link shared for him. I do like Ada. I do like the fact that they had a team, they built, and then once they got to a certain point, they released it to the community. I wish Ethereum would do stuff like that, kind of decentralized. I wish Solana would do stuff like that, release it to the devs, have the community run their project. Because, crypto was about freedom and not about having a new team of people be your bank and be in control of the direction of a company. So if I wanted that, I'd just keep my money at JP Morgan, or I'd keep my money at Bank of America. I'd keep my money at all of these big companies that bankrupted the United States, then got bailed out and caused Bitcoin to be created in the first place. So just my thoughts there. All right, it is 5:29 my time. About time to head over toward that morning motivational video. I got that redirect all set up for you. I hope to see y'all over there in just a second. Make sure to tune into the rest of the shows on the Piper Academy. We've got that morning market report at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Great place to get the breakdown of your data drops, which you might want to focus on this week's data drops quite heavily. We've got several heavy data drops starting tomorrow, so make sure to tune in. Piper will break that on down for you. I see Crypto Coin Mindset in the chat. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day. We've also got Trading with OC at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you like trading, you like to stay on top of those charts, and you like learning, that's a great place to do that. We've also got Markets After Dark at 11 p.m. for all you late night folk. I know Jesse's probably there quite often, so another great place to do some learning. That man's a wizard with some of those Elliott wave theories. So hope to see y'all at the next one, and make sure to wake up because today's going to be a good day.